Hey there, it's Tony from Wealthfront. I work here, and I love talking everything money. I talk to clients every single day about topics that I'd love to share with more people. So that's why, going forward, we're going to be here giving you the content we think everyone should know. Make sure you hit subscribe to follow along. All right, so let's talk about an incredibly important type of account I believe everyone should consider, a Roth IRA. Many people think this account is just for retirement, but honestly, it's way more than that. For example, you may be able to use funds from a Roth IRA to help for your first-time home purchase, educational expenses, and a ton more. All right, so what is a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA was introduced in 1997 as part of the Taxpayer Relief Act, named after Senator William Roth, hence the name. It's a type of brokerage account that's an individual retirement account that allows you to contribute after-tax money for tax-free withdrawals. The easiest way to think about this is the money that's paid to you in your paycheck, it's already been taxed. Hence, we refer to that as after-tax funds. Funds in your Roth IRA grow tax-free, and when you take qualified distributions, you are not responsible for any additional taxes. This is in stark contrast to a standard brokerage account in which investment earnings are taxed upon liquidation. Now, there are limits to this benefit. So to start, you can only contribute up to $6,000 per year to a Roth IRA. And if you're over 50, you can contribute another $1,000 for a total of $7,000. But keep in mind, this is the total of your Roth and traditional IRA contributions, and it's always reviewed by the IRS each year, so it's subject to change. There are also income limits, so not everyone can even contribute to a Roth IRA. If your tax filing status is single, the income limit is $124,000. If your filing status is married filing jointly, your income limit is $196,000. If you meet these limits, you seriously should be considering a Roth IRA by the end of this video. So let's talk about withdrawing funds from a Roth IRA. Your contributions were already taxed, so you can withdraw these at any time without any taxes or penalties. It's really just the earnings, the money that you've made, and how long the account has been open that you need to worry about. If your account is over 5 years old, you don't need to worry about this. However, if your account is less than 5 years old and you withdraw any earnings, you might be subject to taxes and penalties on these earnings. This tax would be your ordinary income rate, and the penalty is likely an additional 10%. So let's go through an example. If you have contributed $20,000 to your Roth IRA over the years and it is now worth $25,000, your account has $20,000 in contributions, $5,000 in earnings. That means you can withdraw up to the $20,000 at any time because you have already paid taxes on it. However, if your withdrawal exceeds that amount and you dip into the $5,000 in earnings, you might be subject to these taxes and penalties. All right, so let's talk about qualified withdrawals. Distributions eligible under IRS regulations are referred to as qualified distributions, while withdrawals that do not meet requirements are referred to as non-qualified distributions. Understanding the difference is super critical to avoiding significant tax liability. First off, if you're over 59 and a half, you don't need to worry about this. Pretty much all withdrawals are tax and penalty free. But if you're under 59 and a half, you may avoid both the taxes and the 10% penalty on your earnings if your withdrawal meets one of these situations. Number one, by far the most important and relevant to many people out there. You're purchasing your first home, you can use up to $10,000 in earnings for this. Number two, you have a qualifying disability. Or number three, your estate or beneficiary is making the withdrawal after your death. But that's not all. If your withdrawal is not qualified, but one of these situations applies, you would also avoid the 10% penalty and just be responsible for the taxes on earnings. Therefore, it's more like a standard brokerage account withdrawal. Number one, you're using the funds to pay for college expenses. Number two, you're paying for medical expenses. Or number three, you lost your job and you're using the funds to pay for your medical insurance premiums. All right, so to recap, there are a ton of great reasons to invest funds in a Roth IRA, especially if you're just getting started with investing. For most younger investors, the Roth IRA is likely the best investment option to start alongside your 401k. You can save for your future, but also use the funds for other purposes along the way, whenever needed. Anytime you can withdraw investment earnings tax-free, you gotta take advantage of that. If you wanna learn more, we'll throw some links down below. And as always, like, subscribe, comment. We'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks so much again for listening. This is Tony from Wealthfront. We'll see you next time.